All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see you. Big waves to you, everybody across social media world. Please let us know where you're tuning in from in the chats and the comments. Um, so excited to finish up the week. I'm joined here this morning with Andrea Rosser, and we're coming to you. I'll tell you, it's fun to talk about it with our community, but this week has been a little wild, a little crazy. I'm actually traveling this week. I'll be in Kansas for an event, and so it always makes things interesting. But when you're on the road and you're moving, but I love it. I love it. And we're going to finish up this Friday with the word worth. Worth. Okay. What do you think about that? Worth. When you look at the definition, it's the value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration. Value. In my profession and in a lot of your profession, but maybe I think it's in every profession. It's like value is really when they're chasing money and they're chasing title and they're chasing all this stuff. And it's like, if you really chase the value you're putting out, everything else kind of comes back, right? It comes back to you. So if you're applying a bunch of value, there's going to be a lot of things happening in your life that's positive. And so I'm looking at the word worth, and I just want to share this with you. Never forget how rare you are. I came across this. God made us unique, every one of us different, right? Never forget how rare you are. Know your worth. Know your worth. You're rare. Know the difference between what you're getting and what you deserve, right? And so where I went this morning is really 7 signs that you know your worth, or 6 signs. I'm sorry, 6 signs that you know your worth. Because do you truly know your worth? And the first one I come across is number one, here's a worth value that we all need to have. You have a positive self-esteem about yourself. You believe in and like yourself. You're comfortable with who you are. Now Andrea is going to come in and kind of go back through some of this of how to, but we got to have good self-esteem about ourselves. And what I mean by that is, when I looked into this, it was like, I got to have good self-esteem about my weight, about my height, about everything that represents me. Now, I lived in this body for 46 years, and that's not always been the case for me. And usually when it's not the case, it means I'm comparing myself to somebody else. So why, if I'm unique, then I'm unique. There's no one else. I'm in a place right now, there's people all around me, but I am me. Like, I'm unique. So why would I compare myself to them? But how many times do I do that? And it interferes with my self-esteem. Worth value number 2, you recognize the difference you make. So when you know your value and you really believe you're making a difference, you've got more belief in your knowledge and your skill and what you say and what you're putting out. And it puts that place when you recognize that you're making a difference. You're walking with your chest out, your shoulders back, and you know that if people are listening and paying attention, there's a difference that's happening because of the value you're putting out there. Worth value number 3, you see yourself as a peer. Now, this was a big one for me, because you don't have to raise your hand, but how many of us walk in a room, and if we walk in a room with people, let's just say that between a scale of 1 to 10, we're a 5. And if we walk in a room with other 5s or 4s or 3s or 2s or 1s, we're pretty self-confident. Like our self-esteem's okay. But if we walk in a room with 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, people that we deem as being more successful than us, their health is better than ours. They got 6-pack abs, like whatever it might be. Like, I walk in a room with those people and I immediately what? Shrink. I shrink. I go hide in the corner. But what if we walked into any room and we saw ourselves as a peer to anyone in the room, right? They put their pants on just like we do, right? They got fingers just like we got. So what makes them so much higher than us? It's all between our ears. So we have a choice. And I can relate to that. I don't know if if you're honest with yourself, are you that person that you don't consider yourself a peer if you walk in a certain room? Worth value number 4 is you don't undercharge for your service. And here's what I mean by that. Like how many of you I've experienced this in my business. I'm so scared of losing business, like losing business. You're going to leave, that I will just downgrade and do everything for free. I'll just give you it. I'll just buy your way in. How many of you've done that? But what if you recognize that, no, I've got true value here. You need and want what I got. It puts you in a different place. So you do not undercharge for your service. Worth value number 5, you are clear about your values. You're clear about your values. You know your boundaries. And you don't need, here's where I really put in my notes right here. You don't need to be validated about your values. Okay? So if you've got your values, you got your makeup, like Bill and Susan knows the values they put out there. They don't need validation from anybody else. They got their values, they're sticking to it. And then the last one is, number 6 is you're engaged in work that's exciting and fulfilling. Like when you know your worth, you are involved with something that you're excited about, like you're energized about, like you put your feet on the floor in the morning and you're like, I don't have to go here, I get to go here. I don't have to share here, I get to share here, because you're excited, you're passionate, like you're in a fulfilling position in your life. Okay. And that's where I hope we're all at, or at least striving to be. So worth was a great word for me, Andrea. I'll turn it to you, kind of add to this.
Well, I think this was extra fun today because I'm doing the other side of the coin. So it's kind of fun how these lessons kind of work together. So the quote that I found was, know your worth and then keep raising the bar. And I love that because there's kind of twofold. We're always looking to improve. And then also, when we know our worth, we raise the bar on how other people treat us, right? Like I think Ashley Paulson put a post out months ago. It's like when you love yourself, you tolerate different things from other people. And that kind of all comes back to it. But how do you grow your worth? Like if you walk around, kind of like what Brent was saying, like if you really think you're a 5 and that everybody else is a 6 and above, right? If you just think you're not quite worthy, how do you grow that worth? So the first thing is to work on your self-esteem, work on that confidence. So how? And in my opinion, find something hard and do it. Confidence comes from action. I don't think confidence comes from how you look or what you do. I think confidence comes from tackling something and overcoming it. So find something that you can tackle and go overcome it. And then 2, make a difference. Go find a need somewhere in your world and fill it, be it volunteer in an animal shelter or serve meals at a soup kitchen or serve at your church. I don't know, but go find a need and donate, find a way that you can help fill that need. And then 3, know your values and live by them. And, we've talked about values before, but it's those deep rooted beliefs that guide every single choice and decision that we make in our life, whether we're aware of them or not. But where our worthiness can kind of fall off track is when we think we know our values, but really we're just looking around us. And I'm saying, well, Arlene values this, and Billy values this, and they value this. So I'm going to try to make those my values, right? I'm going to cherry pick from everybody else, and based on what I think I should have as my values. And using other people's values leaves us constantly working against ourselves. So take that time to discover what your values are. And then 4, do your best, even at the worst. So if your job, right, if my job, and it actually kind of is, if my job is the toilet bowl cleaner, right, I do that at least once a week. If that is my job, then I have to do my best at that awful job. So that bowl better shine, right? So do your best at even the worst tasks, because you're bringing value by doing that. And then 5, accept yourself, warts and all. Kind of what like Brent was talking about, when we compare, right? If I walk into a gym and I'm watching, I don't know, Andrea on that elliptical, and she's going and going and going, but I get on the elliptical and I say, this is all I got. I could feel really bad that somebody else is doing better. Or I can say, this is where I'm at. These are my warts, and I'm going to accept them, and I'm going to love myself right where I am. 6, practice saying no. Every time we say yes to something that we don't really want, we weaken our sense of self. We're almost betraying ourselves when we say yes, when we should really say no. So we can be upbeat, we can be polite, we can be loving in our no, but we have to say those no's even when we really don't want to, which leads me to number 7. And the last one was figure out if you're a people pleaser. And if you are, those no's are so hard, but it's so hard to have a strong sense of self and really feel your own worth if I'm forming my opinion about myself based on your opinions about me, right? So when we choose my actions based on how somebody else is going to respond, then we can really struggle with worthiness. Think about, you put something out on the internet, half the people have something nice to say. So we're like, oh yeah, we feel great about ourselves. But the other half, or maybe it's just a quarter, but sure feel big, when they say something negative, then we're feeling less worthy. So, we have to realize it's simply impossible to please everyone. I am not ice cream. Not everybody's going to love me. I'm not a cookie, right? So if I know that I cannot please everyone, we have to pick and choose who we decide we're going to try to make happy. And the person at the top of that list should absolutely be yourself. So that's what I got today. That was a fun one. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
No, thank you. And thanks for sharing that. And I got to give a big shout out to so many of you in this community. Obviously we have the value today of social media and seeing what you do. And just, I'm thinking about Jane Rouse this morning, and she's been putting positive things out, and she said something on her Facebook feed about Thankful Thursday yesterday. So many of you are doing that. I see you in the gym. I see you walking down the street, or walking into your community. And it's like, it just puts a big smile on my face because, man, if we collectively just continue to grow as a community and spread the word of this and taking this word, but then taking it outside of here and affecting people's lives in a positive way, who knows the ripple effect. So thank you guys for being a part of this. We love you. Have a great Friday. We'll see you back on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Have a good
wonderful
weekend.
weekend. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great weekend and a great
Thank you.
week.